Dr. Young stepped into the room holding a carrying case with my Zoe in it. And I could tell, even with her mask, that the news wasn't very good. And I think we both started to cry. The x-ray showed her entire body full of growths. The really crazy thing is that her daddy had died from an entire body full of growths, and I had inherited her. I don't even know, not even a year before. I had taken her for a well check, and I had been given a death sentence. It was so bad we did not think she would make it very long. And I was devastated. And that was the beginning of what I now know as my Asea journey. My name is Marita with Harmonic Wholeness, and it was because of Zoe that I was led to Asea Redox in a dream. So that happened at the vet on a Thursday afternoon, and that morning I had seen a very simple post on social. It was a photograph of a bottle and 4 simple sentences, and it was interesting. And it was interesting. I don't even think I liked the post, and I scrolled on by, and then 4 hours later I get this news, and I had just done this with Zoe's mom, Grace. Grace and I wrote this book right here. And I had lost Grace, and it was a horrible experience. It was a horrible death. She was so sick. And I just said, you got to give me something, God, because I ain't doing this again. It's been 4 years and I still do this. So on Saturday morning, so less than 48 hours later, as I wake up, I get a directive in my dream. That blue bottle. You have to buy that blue bottle for Zoe. And I remembered who posted it. And even more incredibly, I actually had her name in my phone. And I remember calling her, and I reintroduced myself to her and said, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it does, but I need to buy that blue bottle for my cat. And that was the beginning of my Asea Redox journey. I ordered her the 2 bottles, and she would not take it neat in a little bowl. So I put it over her moist food. And she drank that first before she attacked the food. And so then I kept adding more. Within 2 days, she was a completely different cat. She was and she wasn't even sick. I took her in for a well check, but she was extremely energetic. She became much more affectionate and trusting. And she'd been traumatized. Her daddy died. It was terrible, that whole thing. And so she trusted me. She was affectionate. She was energetic. She was behaving like a kitten. And her fur was just so yummily gorgeous. And this was for Zoe. I was doing this for Zoe. This was not about Marita. This was about Zoe. And but I watched her And I want a piece of that. I remember walking around my house just like this, like, I want a piece of that. No, this is about Zoe. Well, I did that for 2 months, and then month 3 is like, okay, now it's my turn. And I increased my order so that I could play. And that is my introduction to Asea. Like I wanted what Zoe was getting. I will say that she lived 96 days, and that's about almost 90 days longer than we thought she'd live. And it was a very high quality of life. Um, Something happened. I don't remember. She just stopped eating moist food. She wanted to have Aria's food. I have another kitty. And Aria would eat kibble. And well, she eats kibble. And Zoe would eat anything. I mean, she literally stole a corn cob out of the garbage because she just was like a dog. So at any rate, she stopped eating the moist food, which was the delivery system that I had for the redox molecules. And that's when she deteriorated really quickly. It was her way of shutting down, is what it was. So that was, it was a hard loss, but it wasn't anything like what I went through with Grace. And that's what I asked for. It's like, I'm not doing this again. So it was a really, it was a beautiful way, you know, to, if you have to lose a cat, it was a beautiful way to lose a cat, because we had 3 months together. And I really gave her my heart, and I gave her my time, and I used a animal communicator similar to what Grace and I did. And Kristen once said, she goes, "Do you get on the floor with Zoe?" I go, "Yeah, I get on the, I will crawl." I crawled underneath the dining room table to spend time with Zoe, because that's where she would go when she wasn't feeling well. So then I started taking it on April 1st, and I didn't really even tell anybody. It was just my experiment with me. What's going to happen in 90 days? Because I didn't even know that's what we purported. That's what I've been saying for 25 years. In my coaching is when you start something new, you start with 90 days. And the things that I experienced in 90 days, and then when I started sharing, people were like, "What is that? What is that? What are you doing? I want some." And people, because my beginning started with an animal, I've got people who come to me with animal. So that's my story. And I had no idea it would change my life as it has, and it's changed my brand. And I have a completely different outlook on life. It's just incredible. So if you are wondering about this, like, how can this play a role in my life, in my business, whatever your, you know, whatever your perspective is on why you're listening to this, say yes. You know, just give it 90 days. It can't hurt. It can only help. And it may just turn everything right side up in your world. So Marita Harmonic Wholeness, I'm so glad that you've taken some time to listen. And let's do this. Let's do this. Bye-bye.